Hi guys, and welcome back to Hilltop Farm. Today I'm going to be doing a little bit of a tutorial and showing you how we plant our seeds and how we actually make our own seedling pot things, totally environmentally friendly and is actually good for the garden. In that it's biodegradable, breaks down, you don't have to traumatize your plant when you transplant it because you don't disturb the roots or anything. But the first thing I will say, as most of you probably know, we breed dogs and we have a litter of 8-week-old puppies that are actually playing in the next room and keep making terrible racket. So if you hear something, that's all it is, don't panic. Okay, now for this exercise, what we're going to do is you need to collect the inside of your toilet rolls. Now, it can be the inside of kitchen paper towels, your plastic cling wrap, your foil, on a roll, anything that comes on a roll. Toilet rolls are obviously what most people have the most of. They're easier to store too because they're much smaller, but it really doesn't matter. Okay, once you've got your collection, we've got a bag that we keep. We then cut them down. Now what I do is generally most of our seeds go into two categories. One is what I call the plants. You see what I mean by them? Yeah, that's alright. They're not killing each other, it just sounds like it. Now, most of our plants are divided into two groups. One, things like your peas, beans, squashes, pumpkins, melons, anything where generally it's got a larger seed and it sends down one large taproot. With anything like that, what we do is we just cut the toilet roll in half and we just use half of that. In the other things are seeds like, for example, I'm planting some thyme, and because they're such fine seeds. I don't know if you can see those. They're little dots virtually. You want them in a clump, very shallow root system, so I cut them into thirds. Then what you do, once you have them, I'll take this one, this is going to be snow peas, alright? Now, can you see I've written SP on there, obviously for snow pea. Now we take our half a toilet roll, we take 1 square of our toilet paper. Okay, place it on the top using your index finger, push it in, down to the bottom. Now, leave it going up the sides. That will assist in the watering, alright? And I'll explain that later. Okay, now having got that there, okay, what we then do is we bring our potting soil, compost, whatever it is that you use. Okay, and don't do what I just did and hold it up. You have to have it on a surface. Okay, now fill this up. Right, now normally, and I'm going to give them a plug here in Australia, we get all our seeds from Boondie Seeds, and I recommend everyone in Australia go to their website because they're a small family owned business. Okay, now as you can see, well, I don't know if you can see that, but you don't get many seeds in there. okay? But you get enough. How many times have you guys, you're planting, say, thyme, and you don't need that many, but you get this huge big packet and you pay $3, $4, $5, $6 for it. With this company you don't. Most of their seeds are $1, and you get a smaller amount, but the germination rate is fantastic. They're extremely fresh, and yeah, they're just brilliant for seeds. And as you can see, they're in a resealable plastic packet. So we get all our seeds now from this company, Boondie Seeds, and I'll put a link down in the description below so you can go and check out their website. But I do have some seed left over. These are actually a few months out of date. The snow peas, I won't tip it up the right way because I've opened the packet. So I'm just going to use them up. Now, if I'm not getting the Boondie Seeds like this, I will go for, it's all Mr. Fothergill's. Okay, do you see that? I think you can see that logo. The reason I go for that is, and hopefully you will be able to read it, right down the bottom there. Do you see what it says? Will it focus on that? But if it doesn't, I'll read it to you. It says, "We say no to GMO." Okay? So if I can't get the Boondie, I will go to Mr. Fothergill's. Alright? And just out of interest, in case anyone wonders, this is something we just throw in our chicken coops. We've got different coops for, you know, when we're running chickens on for meat or what have you. But they sit empty for periods of time. So we sew that in there so that when we put chickens in there, they've got lovely things to dig around in. Getting back, we've got this here where you just put a little bit of a well in. Now, as these are a couple of months out of date, I will be putting 2 seeds in every thing. Normally I only do 1 because I find with peas and beans you very rarely don't have them come up. Well, this method we don't have a problem. And that's it. You cover that one up and you put it in the tray like that so that you end up with a row. And obviously the thyme will go in here when we get to that. And what I was saying about having the toilet roll on the bottom is when you put it in here to water it, you don't water from the top. You fill up your tray, okay, and you just add, I mean, initially for the first 24 hours I put probably 1/4 to 1/2 inch of water in, and it soaks up into the toilet roll, but it goes up through the toilet paper with a capillary action right up to the sides, and it brings the water right up to the top of the soil, a bit like having a, you know, those self-watering flower pot things that you get, I think they call them water wells or something, with a wick in it, so it works on the same principle. And that's what we do. And after the first 24 hours, we then drain the water out. And we only put a small amount of water in when we notice they're starting to dry out. Yeah, and that's what we do. Now, I'll just quickly do one of the thyme ones here to show you how we do the smaller ones. Now, because our seeds, we've got a small greenhouse, it's only a very cheap plastic thing you can get on eBay or Amazon or anywhere like that. but it does the job. And then we've got shelving in there with our grow lights in them. But because they're protected, we don't have to worry. Now what I do is I open my plastic packet, I simply push. You see that I've got the seeds on my finger. Okay. And then I simply just scatter them on the top. You know, once I've done that, I literally get a pinch of the potting soil. Okay, and we're done. And that becomes the next row, and it's just as simple as that. Now, because we're in autumn, about to go into winter, not that we have severe winters. Our winters here are generally during the day, they hover around maybe the 60 degrees F mark. Real bleak day, it might be 50 all day. But yeah, generally 60, 65. That's generally what we have. So it's not like the really extreme winters that you know, UK, Europe, and North America have, and Canada. But nevertheless, it's winter to us because we have it up near and well over the hundreds sometimes in the summer. So to us it feels freezing, and I'm sure our plants feel the same way. So what we do this time of year, the very top shelf of the shelving in the greenhouse obviously has grow lights under it, and the shelf is actually warm and you put your hands on top. So these trays, when we're finished, they go on the top shelf with the warmth coming through underneath them, and they stay there for that warmth to help them germinate. Once the plants are poking up through the soil and obviously then start needing the light and not so much the heat, because obviously they've already germinated, we then move them down onto the shelving where they're under the lights. But they're still in the greenhouse, which is under the back veranda, so it's not in the sun ever, but it's still protected from the wind and drafts and things like that. So anyway, that's our eco-friendly way of potting up our seeds. It's, well, I say cheap, it virtually costs you nothing. The toilet rolls, most people just put in the compost or the rubbish bin anyway. I hope no one watching my channel puts them in the rubbish bin. I hope they go in the compost, but even so, the only thing it really costs you is a few squares of toilet paper, really, and you know, it's a small price to pay, yeah, for the convenience and what have you, because it's so easy. Because when these are ready to go in the ground, as I say, you don't have to disturb the roots. You just pick up the whole thing like such, with the plant in the top, and you dig a hole, you plonk it in, and you bury it. And this breaks down. The toilet paper breaks down even quicker. So those main tap roots and things that are on things like tomatoes, where the root system that grow very quickly, they just push their way straight through. And all is well, and it's a brilliant, you know, way of doing it. So give it some thought and give it a try at your place. Alright, now if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss out on any other great ideas like this. And in the meantime, it's goodbye from Hilltop Farm. See ya!